Bontu is a small hedge against Bridgevine. I think that's fine. I think that's the correct way to like adjust for new decks in the format. You don't want to make overarching changes. You don't want to change the deck you're playing entirely. You just want to make like small subtle changes so that way like if you run into the deck that's becoming popular, you like have a slightly better chance against it. You like Lava Man over push? I can see that being okay. We generally have plenty of food. If I wanted to be floop, Fed, thank you for the 10 months. I appreciate that. If I wanted to be absurdly aggressive here, I could go land, Spirit Guide, Ritual, Manamorphose into black, looting, hit the Gristle Pig, floop the Gristle Pig. I think that's too aggressive, though. I'm just going to go ahead and just cast looting here on one. I'm going to play Scourge, chat. I'm going to play Scourge. Alright, so I'm going to ditch Desperate Ritual land here, I think, and pass the turn. Alright, Temple of Malice. Yeah, we would have bricked if we'd have been aggressive. Like I said, I think that was overly aggressive, and that's why I didn't do it. I think I'm ditching Spirit Guide, Manamorphose here probably. I guess Spirit Guide's kind of appealing. Maybe I ditch Manamorphose land, and then this way I can hit a pig into a. Nourishing Shoal is not what I want. We're looking for a Gristle Pig at this point. I guess I could bin Reunion because I have the Looting's a flashback from the graveyard. That kind of makes sense. Yeah, for every 100 bits you donate. So 100 bits is basically $1. So I'm going to go ahead. And at this point, I'm going to Reunion. They played Remorseful Clerk. So I'm going to Reunion, bin Goryo's Vengeance Swamp. Wow, that's unfortunate. Sometimes your Gristle Pigs just hide out, chat. Although I guess if they tap out and don't have Path to Exile up this turn, I can draw land and just like Breach Worm. It seems fine. Ooh, rude. Put it towards Seer and his millions. Thank you, Zan, for the bits. I appreciate it. Thanks for the support. I mean, in the words of a magician who likes to gamble, we're not playing this deck to not go for it. So, YOLO. Yeah, they have Path. We knew the risk when we went in, chat. We knew the risk when we went in. 5 mana, 4 card Rampant Growth. Hey, we took a card out of their hand too. Don't you put down my Rampant Growth. Don't you undersell my Rampant Growth capabilities. It's doing its best to get by in this tough world. Alright, we're super dead now, right? I think that was a fine gamble. I think like we needed that to go our way in order to win this game from the position we were in. Main deck Remorseful Cleric. So we definitely want to trim Cathartic Reunion. You want to trim this in any matchup that has counterspells. Desperate Ritual, you usually want to trim one of these against the interactive decks because they're going to be disrupting you, so you want slightly less mana in your deck. I like just trimming Goryo's Vengeance in matches where you expect the opponent to... What's the word I'm searching for? Where you expect the opponent to have Graveyard Hate, and they're like, they have main deck Graveyard Hate, so like trimming one of these is fine, I think. I think this is fine. You feel about, I guess Lightning Axe is kind of medium. I think I'd rather have Collective Brutality. Brutality is another way. Although I guess this is instant speed kill things. This kills Spellquiller, which is nice. Is the Brutality good enough? A lot of their things have bigger butts, right? I think the one Brutality is fine. I don't know that I want a second. I could maybe want a second Anger, but like they have a bunch of Selfless Spirits, so like Sweepers are awkward against Spirit. You have a pig emote, that's great. Yeah, doesn't it Queller or the New Lord? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna bring in the Bontus, because Bontus can clear out like double Lord boards. I'm not going to show you this whole thread because this person's been like a troll all morning, but this is the most important part about Hoagland does social media. There you go. There you go. Muting is great because you don't have to make the person upset that you blocked them, and you no longer have to listen to the things that they're spewing that are obnoxious. This hand's really good, right? We actually just like want some more mana sources. We just like flip the pig this way. Yeah, definitely make a command, JMP. I appreciate that. Hey, Frog Hog, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. I think with their main deck Graveyard Hate, I'm just going to bottom the Goryos there. We also don't have a way to get Griselbrand in the graveyard at the moment. Actually, could you just link my article, JMP? My article this week kind of talks about that. Supreme Ventum, yep. Gosh, it's a shame we don't have some free mana, huh? Kind of sad that I bottomed the Goryos. If I would have believed, chat, we would have got there. So if I would have Faithless Looting this turn, we'd have been fine. I'm just gonna Fatal Push this and move on with our lives. Thanks, Crab8. Everybody thinks that power level... I agree with you. A lot of people think that power level is the only thing that matters. And I really disagree with that sentiment. Do I play around a Surgical Extraction here? Am I supposed to play around Surgical Extraction here? I feel like I'm gonna get Surgical and feel bad here. Like, they kept their hand for a reason, right? Nope. Apparently they did not keep their hand for a reason, and they were just stone cold dead. Yeah, their keep was exceedingly medium there. I think Pod is also unfine to ban. I also think that you can't unban too many cards at the same time, though. So, I think, basically, I think I already suggested too many changes. There's a strong argument that the changes I suggested in my article should be made over 2 or even 3 ban and restricted updates, because you should slowly and subtly make changes to the format. But... so I left the shoal on top here because that shoal is actually a ritual. That shoal is going to pitch Manamorphose and allow me to splice this for 4. So we're actually going to get to Breach Wurm next turn, potentially. Although, we're not under pressure, so if they leave Path to Exile up here, I probably won't Breach Wurm into it. Sure. I'm gonna go ahead and Breach Wurm here. If they have Curse Catcher, I'm gonna be a little bit sad, but I think we're supposed to go for it here while they don't have Path up. These are my friends. Hi, friends. That's just like fake news, Justin. I said it was the best fair deck I've played. What's going on, Waldus? I'm gonna do an evening stream this weekend, I think. I'm not gonna overlap the open because it involves modern, but I plan to do an evening stream. Man, I don't know what their keeps were in these the second two games. Remember, chat, mulliganing is not a punishment, it's a privilege. You get to mulligan. You don't have to mulligan, you get to mulligan. Modern is a format that is about having the correct cards, not about having a large quantity of cards in most matches. Hey, Green Sun Zenith would be okay with Dryad Arbor format. Yeah. Yeah, I think a card that gets to be Land War Elves in the first turn of the game is fine. I feel like a lot of the people who like to like point to Dryad Arbor and then say that's why Green Sun can't be unbanned, like either they haven't played Modern or they haven't played with Green Sun or maybe both. And I get it, it's like a flexible Land War Elves. Like, it's Land War Elves on 1 and it's Tireless Tracker on 4, but like, Modern is a format that isn't about card selection and flexibility. It's about tempo and being quickly interactive, and Green Sun Zenith is a card that's making you pay extra mana for card flexibility, and generally speaking, cards that make you pay extra mana for flexibility in Modern often aren't good. And it might be just efficient enough that it's playable, but I don't think it would be busted by any means. I'm gonna grab my Blood Crypt here, because if we hit Goryos plus an untapped land here, I want to be able to do it on turn 2. Alright, well there's the Goryos, so just draw an untapped land next turn and get them. No, we won round 1. They kept really bad hands in the second 2 games. It just didn't do anything. It just, like, did our thing and they conceded. I don't actually think Green Sun Zenith would be that good in Elves. I think Green-White Elves would rather have Court of Calling so they can find their combo pieces and more utility cards. And I think Green-Black Elves would rather have Lead the Stampede and Collected Company to generate card advantage with. I do think Green Sun Zenith would be very, very good in the Titan decks. I think it would probably be good in Amulet Titan, and I think it would definitely be good in Valakut Titan. But I think all the people that saying like Green Sun Zenith would slot into all of the Collected Company decks, I feel like they're not really thinking about like what makes the Collected Company decks good and like the deck building requirements that Collected Company decks have. What are the odds we actually play Jund today? I don't know, non-zero. Ask Justin and Nivik how they're feeling. Ask them if they plan on cutting things. Deathrite Shaman's a card that should stay banned despite probably being fine on power level. Deathrite Shaman is a card that just like it does too much for too little. It's too flexible. Deathrite Shaman, I think, would actually do what people are worried Stoneforge Mystic would do. I don't think Stoneforge Mystic would slot into every deck. Deathrite Shaman is a mana dork that accelerates you, which is something you want to be doing in Modern, that gets cast by most lands in the format. Alright, just waiting on a Goryo's vengeance. Dr. Shaman knows what he did. Yes, he does. Alright, so I think I'm actually going to bin a Worm in a land here, because this way if I draw through the Breach next turn, I can go pitch Spirit Guide through the Breach the Worm. You can find all the deck lists that we're going to be playing today linked in the donation queue. The donation can be found at bit.ly/donation queue. It's also linked in an extension under my stream. So lots of good ways to help yourself here. I'm very organized, unlike some streamers, so I try to provide all of the relevant information for you to find yourself. So, my opinion is that Deathrite Shaman and Punishing Fire would probably be fine in Modern from a pure power level perspective. However, more than pure power level perspective should be considered for which cards are allowed to exist in the format. And I think from a utility and a variety of gameplay standpoint, Deathrite Shaman should not be allowed to be legal. Alright, so we're getting Bedlam Reveler here. Because they binned one, so that means they have a second. And this little piggy went wee, 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 all the way home. Oh, I should just place here, right? Does this still restart the game? Does anybody know? Does this still restart the game? Once upon a time, this restarted the match. Let's find out. Oh my gosh, they fixed the bug. Oh my, I don't even know what to do, chat. Wait, Magic Online worked as intended. I don't understand. I'm so confused. I'm so scared. I don't understand what's happening. Somebody send help. Somebody send help. The bug was fixed. I don't get it. I don't know what's happening. Chat. Help. I need somebody. Help. Not just anybody. Help. Help me. Help me. Help me. Alright, so I'm expecting Leyline. So I'm actually going to board out 2 copies of Goryo's Vengeance here. I'm going to bring in Abrade because my opponent could potentially have Ensnaring Bridge, and this also just like takes Pyromancer off the table. I guess Leyline of Sanctity is like pretty A+ here, right? Leyline is pretty A+. Probably trim a Desperate Ritual. I don't want to trim Borborygmos in this matchup, I don't think. Reunion's fine. It, like, lets you convert cards. Maybe trimming 1 is fine. Like, I'm trimming Goryo's Vengeance anyways. We need a way to find more cards, though. Like, we need card selection. So we can, like, get to our Through the Breaches and stuff like that. No, I don't really want to trim Shoal or Wurm. Maybe a Shoal would be fine, but I want to keep Wurm because Breach Wurm is a good way to win this matchup. Because usually they don't have a way to interact with the tokens or the Wurm itself. I think this is good. I think this is good. This deck is like the poster child of Stoneforge Mystic is too good for Modern. Oh, did I miss Amped Phil with the $20 donation? Please add the black-white tokens deck I submitted for. Grizzle Father bless us. Thank you very much. Will do. And yep, this is a keep. We're gonna both start with our respective Force of Wills in play here, probably. And this hand has Through the Breach to dodge that. This is important. I'm not I'm not going to put the second ley line into play because we can loot through the second ley line. So I am intentionally not putting the second ley line into play. We get like kind of punished if they have exactly wear tear here, but I think we're supposed to keep this for Cathartic Reunion and Faithless Looting. Motsy unbanned Crow Box. That would be so terrible. God, this deck would love Crow Mox. I can't even imagine how good this deck would be if it got to play Crow Box. Can you explain why you run a 2-2 split on Reunion and Whisper? I would encourage you to look at the deck list because we do not run a 2-2 split on Night's Whisper at Cathartic Reunion. There's a deck list on your screen. If you're not seeing the deck list on your screen, you type !deck in chat to get a link directly to the deck list. I think I'm actually going to bottom here. A lot of mana sources in our deck. Hey, look. There's that ensnaring bridge that I've heard so much about. Okay. It's fine. We've got Abrades. We also can just, like, kill them without attacking, too. That's also an option. Like, we're under 0 pressure here, so, like, just, like, killing them with 7 Borborygmos activations is, like, something that happens on occasion. 6 Borborygmos activations. They fetched a basic swamp. Oh, no, not Leyline of the Void. It's actually, like, kind of annoying. I got you, Devon. Welcome to a live one. Glad you enjoy the YouTube stuff. Everyone out there's having a good Thursday wherever you're at. Almost the weekend. I think you should probably just run 4. I think if it's an effect you think you want, you should just play all of them. Good morning. If Watchword unbanned Green Sun Zenith, do you think it might make counter... I don't think Counter's Company wants to play Green Sun Zenith. Genuinely don't think that is a card Counter's Company wants to play. Hand-Eating Llama, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime support. No, there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. I do appreciate that. I don't think elves would want to play Green Sun Zenith either. I think green-white elves would rather play Court of Calling so they can find their non-green toolbox pieces. And I think green-black elves would rather have Collective Company and Lead the Stampede to generate card advantage. They just want, like, critical masses of elves. They really don't want specific ones. And it gets that much better than Bird Burgle. I feel like you losing the critical mass of creatures is, like, not worth it. It makes your Collective Companies much worse. It would definitely push you towards straight green-white if that was the case. Alright, so... this is why we held the Leyline. I'm going to ditch a Spirit Guide here as well. Okay. Alright, did I just Abrade this now? I think so. I don't want to discard. I could also just cast Looting this turn, because I kind of want to hit a land. Yeah, I don't really need this Manamorphose. I'm just going to cast Looting and try and hit a land, because I want as many lands as possible next turn. I don't think Boggles would play Green Sun either. Maybe it's fine, but, like, if they wanted a 2-mana Bogle, they'd play Ledgewalker, and most of them don't play Ledgewalker. Yeah, I'm gonna end step, kill the bridge. And then hopefully untap and do terrible, terrible things to them. That is a legal play. That is a legal Magic the Gathering play. that one. So I'm gonna go Shoal, splice additional cards, pitch this, splice this, doing this and this, hit OK, hit OK. Man, it's a real shame that we were unable to utilize our graveyard this game. Glad. Just a damn shame, really. Alright, and then we get to go Shoal, do this, exile, just splice, just classic splice into arcane tribal things, chat. Put Borby into play. And these little piggies went wee, 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 all the way home. No graveyard, no problem. Boop. Just boop you on the nose. Just boop it right on the nose. Are we playing Spirits already? It feels like I threw the list in the queue yesterday. When did you throw? Actually, I date stamped them. It got added to the queue. It was almost a month ago, but we've had other people donate for it, so there's been other people. That's why the donation queue system is great. Other people bump up decks that they didn't submit. I know it's early. I'm gonna eat a bit of a snack already. Eventually, we play everything that's on the list. They get 1 point per day. So eventually they're high enough that they won't get bumped. Yeah, the sideboard's different in here. I updated the sideboard on my website too. I made a couple of small changes. I don't think I want a reunion on one here. I think I'm just gonna pass. You should silence in response to them casting ad nauseum. Alright, so they shocked in here, which means they're representing terminate. So the optimal sequencing here is you want to attack with Griselbrand before drawing cards, because this way they kill him before he deals combat damage, and then we get to draw 14 cards. Because if I would have just gone to draw cards right away, they would have killed him. Willow Trinell, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. They would have killed him in response to the first time I drew cards, and this way I get to draw 14 cards here before my Griselbrand comes off the table, which gives me the most chances to find worms for my shoals here, which lets me continue drawing so I can theoretically pick my entire deck up here, because I don't actually need this combat to kill them. Like, we'll just, like, put Borborygmos into play and kill them that way. You can maintain priority, but the opponent still gets a chance to do it before they resolve. So maintaining priority doesn't accomplish anything here. So I have 3 Spirit Guides in my hand, I think. 1, 2, 3. Did I find the 4th yet? I have not. This is turn 4. They took 2 turns. No, this is turn 5, chat. They took 2 turns. This is our 3rd turn. I haven't played a land yet this turn. Really started playing Grixis decks because I was doing well with Shadow and Control, a top 8 with dragons, and had prizing record with Cruel Control. That's awesome, Waldes. Do I need more cards? What kind of question is that? Of course I need more cards. I have both Shoals over here, right? I still have 2? Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Did I hit a ritual yet? Was there a ritual in my hand somewhere? This game is much easier. This deck is much easier in paper because you get to sort your cards as you draw them. It's very fortunate they didn't have a Stoneforge Mystic to interrupt you. Of course. Of course. Thank you for the 3 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Doop. That's true. We do need to be careful here. This is we don't want to draw 7 again. This is the last 7, chat. We're done drawing cards from here. Alright, there's the last Spirit Guide. Alright, so this that's the last Spirit Guide, right? Which means I have all 4. Which means I could go ahead and splice splice through the breach onto Nourishing Shoal the way Richard Garfield intended the game to be played. Don't mind me, just looking for Spirit Guides. Yep. Yep, you make a relevant pile, an irrelevant pile, and then a lands pile. Boop, boop you on the nose. Boop, boop it on the nose. Alright, Jund. Gosh, it's been a while since I played against Jund. Leyline of Sanctity is an easy in. Collective Brutality is pretty bad. I think this is a matchup where I trim a Goryo's Vengeance. They probably have like a buck ton of what's it called in the sideboard? Graveyard hit at this point. Trimming a Desperate Ritual is great against these interactive decks. How do we feel about Fatal Push? I feel like a Fatal Push could be fine. Like, keeping Goyf off the table seems okay. I don't think I want Bontus explicitly. I probably don't need Borby. I could probably trim a Borb. Breaching Wurm is usually good enough. Yep, the Breach plan is very good here. So usually you're doing that as opposed to anything else. What's the case for running Pact of Negation over Defense Grid? This card costs 0 mana. That's why you play it. Because you draw your entire deck, and this card costs 0 mana. Can you explain Splice onto Arcane for me? I'm going to request that you just Google that. Because that's definitely... You'll be able to get a better understanding from an article where they're explicitly explaining it online, rather than me, like, fumbling through the details with you. I think I'm going to go like this. So, this hand sucks a little bit from the no leyline perspective, but in general, it's pretty reasonable, I think. I'm gonna bottom a shoal at this point. I think we're just like looking for worms and breaches. Pretty good. We're off to a solid start here with Griselbrand. We beat Blue-White Spirits and Mardu Pyromancer up a game here against Jund. If you kill Storm with the Storm trigger on the stack. Alright. It's a good pickup. I'm gonna cast Night's Whispers here. Looking for more fast mana at this point. This is, it doesn't look like it, chat, but this is actually fast mana. This with the green card makes Through the Breach 1 cheaper. Alright, any green card lets us Breach Wurm this turn. Yeah, I actually added the iteration of blue-white control that I personally liked to my website today, or last night. So, jeffhoagland.com/decklist. You can find all my stuff there. They're dead. Probably. Like, statistically speaking, maybe they survive, but we're going to attack them with Griselbrand this turn. And then, like, you know, do the thing. Bum ba dum ba dum ba da 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 da. Bum ba dum ba dum ba da 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 da. All right, so how? So here's the thing. I'm trying to decide how deep I want to go this turn. Do I think I can pick up my entire deck? And if I pick up my entire deck, is it going to be enough to kill them? So I've already played one shoal. I've burned a Spirit Guide, and I'm through... Have I burned one Spirit Guide or two? I burned one Spirit Guide, and I only have one Ritual in my deck. So, like, I need to find 2 Rituals, and I need to be conscious of the fact that I could get bolted. Like, they haven't played a discard spell yet. Like, they could have a bolt. If I find, like, double Spirit Guide, I'm gonna attack them. Yeah, we're not playing this deck to not go for it, right? Yeah, I already played a land this turn. Yeah, the Thought Scour version on my website. Alright, so that's no... I'm looking for, like, double Spirit Guide Ritual is ideally what we're looking for here. That's 0 Spirit Guide, 0 Rituals. I guess I could pick up most of my deck here, huh? Still 0 Spirit Guides. Awkward. I shuffled last turn. Alright, so there's one Spirit Guide. The problem is there's 11 cards here. Am I through my Manamorphose yet? I've not played a Manamorphose. No, I cut a ritual. I left my Manamorphose in my deck. Oh, Manamorphose doesn't matter because they have a spell bomb. So I can't do that line anyways. So basically, if I draw again, I need to draw Spirit Guide, and my ritual in the 7. Well, that's all of them. I believe, I believe, I believe. I believe in a thing called love. If we would have missed there, we would have needed to like figure out how we were not going to die the following turn and like have the best chance to kill them after that. But you know, just like hitting it. Yeah, I don't even want to break out the Hyper Geodo. That was insane. Yep. Listen, chat. You just gotta buckle up. You just gotta strap yourselves in and ride it right on off, okay? This is one of the OG buckle up decks, chat. Oh, my wife had her D&D group down here last night, and they moved my garbage can. I'm garbage canless. All right, garbage on the floor for now, like a heathen. All right. Why am I trolling us with good decks? My system is very simple. I play the decks people have paid me to play. And there's a list of the decks and how much people have paid or how long they've been waiting to see play. So you can always predict what you're going to see on this channel for the most part. Yeah, I think this deck is very good. This deck's top 8 at Opens and Grand Prix. And probably tons of smaller events. That wins there because it lets us, through the breach, Borborygmos into play, and then Borborygmos lets us discard a bunch of lands to kill our opponent. This hand just doesn't... So, like, this is a hand that seems like a trap. While we have some cards that are good, we don't have a discard outlet, we don't have card selection, and we don't have a thing. So, this hand just doesn't do anything, and you definitely want to mulligan it, even though it has lands and spells in it. This hand, on the other hand, is very good. Yep, very, very good. Sign me up. Nah, Brutality is just, sure, you're correct. Brutality is just very slow discard outlet. When I said discard outlet, I meant quick discard outlet is what I meant. That was the mental shortcut I had. Alright, if we draw a Spirit Guide, we get to try and kill them on 1. Whee! It's been a while since we've gone for the turn 1, chat. It's been a while, but here we are. Giddy up. Giddy up, doggy. Giddy up. Alrighty. Alright. So we hit a third guide. I hit 2 shoals. I'm gonna give him a little love tap here. Yeah, nice Aether Vial. Just good quality. This is why we're lucky they didn't have Stoneforge Mystic, otherwise they would have died with it in their hand. You know? Just details. It's the little things. And I don't even, like, have to go for it fully here, but I feel like I'm obligated to prove a point. We're looking for another our last spirit guide. Alright, so if our last spirit guide is in our bottom 2 cards, we could potentially brick off here. It's in our bottom 2 cards, chat. It's in our bottom 2 cards. Oh no. Oh no! Oh no! No lava with the $10 donation. Please floop this piggy of a deck straight back into the queue, always. I mean, yeah, we're still fine, but like, I can't Manamorphose, chat. I don't have 2 mana. That's the problem. I only have, if I could Manamorphose, we would be fine, because then I could Ritual. If I looting, I lose the game. For people that don't get it, I don't have a second mana because our last spirit guide is in our bottom 2 cards. That's the issue. All right, so now I'm gonna gain some extra life here. No, we're not gonna Breach Your Worm. We're gonna Goryo's Vengeance this city into play next turn. Beep 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 Don't mind me. Just discarding a bunch of cards. See, this is fair, chat. They're not going to die till our second turn. Everybody that was complaining that this was unfair, you're silly. You're silly. This is perfectly reasonable. This should remain legal in Modern. Oh, I just discarded the wrong card. If they have a Thalia now, if they have a Thalia, I can't go next turn. I should have kept the Spirit Guide. Obviously, we need a Blast to Genius. Oh, I needed to keep a land too, right? Yeah, this is all just a hot mess. No, it's fine. I drew Simian Spirit Guide. Grrr. Grrr. Oh, you have a Path to Exile. That's adorable. That's adorable. I guess I'll kill you in response. I guess I'll kill you in response. Alright, that's all I got. Okie doke. Alright, Abrade, Brutality. And thanks for the 9 months, BDP. This deck is so slow. We didn't win till the second turn. That's some horse crap right there. Kind of slow horse crap deck is this. Can't win till the second turn. I'm gonna trim a Whisper. They're probably like a pseudo-aggressive deck. It was like the fourth turn, right? They had two and we had two. I need one more cut. Maybe Bontu uses too much interaction. Narset Cannon can win on turn 1. Narset Cannon can win on turn 1. We've played that. You can find videos and a deck list of Narset Cannon on my website in the meme category. Why do we cut Desperate Ritual? I actually don't know. I want to sideboard correctly next league I play this. Basically, Desperate Ritual is just like filler, and you should assume everybody post-board is like bringing in more ways to interact with you, which means you want less filler in your deck. Like, it's a card that like helps you combo quickly, but like that's less important when they're interacting with you more often. Why is this not banned? It's not really that high variance. This deck isn't banned because Wizard of the Coast doesn't really like to ban things. I think a big part of why this deck doesn't see play is because this card costs like $50 and Goryo's Vengeance costs like $50, and these two cards are not played in most things. I think if this deck cost as much to build as most other decks in Modern, or had like a bunch of overlapping cards like a lot of popular decks do, you would see a lot more play. I mean, every deck has a fail rate. You could say it has a fail rate, so don't ban anything. It's actually why I haven't bought it. Yeah, yep. I think that's... Alright. I'm gonna take my thoughts, opponent. You have an Eldrazi Displacer. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Alright, let's cast Faithless Looting. Cast Night's Whisper. Maybe I should have kept one of my 2 pigs in my hand since I have this through the breach. Yeah, I probably should have kept a pig in my hand. I generally favor trimming Wurm against decks that have Path to Exile in it, because Breach Wurming is not a... If Breach Wurm isn't an applicable path to victory, usually I trim a Wurm. Alright, I'm gonna start by casting Manamorphose here, because if we hit Goryo's Vengeance, I want to do that. Now I'm gonna Reunion... Ditch these two. The correct choice in Modern is to always bring the deck you enjoy playing. None of the decks are good enough to play something that you don't like. Alright. That pig might be a touch late, but we'll find out next turn. If they have Path, we're basically just dead, because we're not going to be able to draw any cards. Does Simian Spirit Guide ever count as filler that we trim? No, you basically need Spirit Guide to combo. So I don't like cutting him. Oh, they just get to Displacer this, right? Yeah, that makes sense. And they don't care that we keep it because we're dead next turn. Right. Makes sense. We were going to brick and die anyways. Yeah, I'm just going to run it back. Seems pretty good. I'm actually going to lead on Temple here. Because I don't think I really need to rush for the turn 2. Turn 3 is probably plenty. And I want to give myself more chances to find a Griselbrand before I cast Faithless Looting. We play 19 lands in this deck. Our deck's like the OP's worst matchup. This deck's worst matchup is itself. This deck is so absurdly busted that you basically only lose games where your deck doesn't get to do its thing. Mistakes are also a bad matchup. If you make mistakes, you lose a lot too. If you haven't watched us play this deck before, there's probably close to a dozen leagues on my website at this point. I've played this deck a lot. It's definitely a fan favorite, you could say. Alright, that's a Borborygmos. Grishoalbrand. There are how many leagues? This is our 15th league, like in the last year with this deck. Any benefit to pushing at their instep instead of on my turn? I don't know. It gives them a chance to have something weird like Flicker Wisp or some other card I'm not thinking about. Yeah, you can also find all of my decks on my website. Decks that we've played a lot have pages on my website to make them easy to find. And absolutely everything I do gets posted on my YouTube channel. Guess I'm just flashing back Faithless Looting at this point. Definitely binning a land. Probably the fetch land, actually, because it keeps my health a little higher. Probably just, like, land Borborygmos here. Yeah, this deck is very good against control, especially with the 3 packs we have on the sideboard. I frequently cut Goryo's Vengeance average blue. I think we've already done that 2 or 3 times in this league. The actual deck lists that are embedded in the website are my personal preferred deck list for each archetype. The deck lists that we play in the videos tend to vary a bit. A lot of them are ones that people submit. But the actual deck list on the website is, if you want to know what would I play for a given archetype on my website, that's what's embedded on the page. I think we've just, and like this is the failure rate, right? Like we're through 19 cards in my deck without a Griselbrand, and like that just happens sometimes. That's how it goes. Like we're an A-B combo deck, and sometimes you have your A and not your B. No, I don't think I'd play Cruel Ultimatum. I think especially with the introduction of the new Nicol Bolas flip from M19, that playing Cruel Ultimatum is just like strictly incorrect. Like maybe once upon a time you could have made an argument that it lets you go over the top, but I think Nicol Bolas is just like way better than that card could ever dream of being in Modern. Mostly because Nicol Bolas has a text box before you have 7 mana in play. Burgle, we don't have time for your actual facts and data here. Are any good modern decks running the new Nico Bolas? It probably depends on your definition of good. Look, I just play whatever people send me money to play. Ninja Turtle. It's a very, very simple system that works well for us. While we're waiting for this last Magic League to pop, I'd just like to thank everyone for hanging out here today. Welcome. My name is Jeff Holguin. I'm a full-time stream, meme, and content producer here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30-plus hours a week. If you're one of my regular viewers who watches live, please be aware my schedule is going to be changing a little bit starting next week. I'm going to be live 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Cornfield time every day throughout the week, so 6 hours a day on weekdays. If you're enjoying my content, you want to help keep me here every day like I am almost, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are the people that keep me employed here full-time. Wouldn't be here without their generous support. Past subscribing, you can also support myself by checking out some of my very wonderful sponsors. Cardsphere.com would love to help you turn some of your cards into other cards directly to the players. There's no haggling. They just take 1% fee off the top. InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience using code Jeff12. You can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags there. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles using promo code Jeff5. You can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. And of course, this stream wouldn't be possible if viewers like Anoronic, Justin Nivik, and all y'all out there. I do appreciate it. Cornfield time, Central Standard Time. Why the schedule change? My oldest starts back up at school next week. So he will be getting off the bus between 4 and 4:15, so I need to be there to pick him up off the bus when he gets off. Sometimes I trim a Cathartic Reunion in the grindy matchup, depending on how much I have to sideboard in. But it definitely comes out against every deck that involves counterspells. Not particularly close. Alright, so here I'm going to bin a Griselbrand, but I'm going to leave the other one in my hand because I have this Through the Breach. Because there's a chance that we just, like, draw land before we draw Goryo's Vengeance. Or we just draw some fast mana like Spirit Guide lets us flip this pig into play next turn. Looks like humans. This is a Meddling Mage. Probably see Goryo's Vengeance named here. For guaranteed on Monday, you'd have to beat whatever else is in the queue. So I have 3 decks in the queue at the moment that are pretty high up there. Teferi, Tribal, and Red-Green Hollowed Evolution are going to be in there. So to beat other things in the queue that might qualify for Beam Monday, you'd probably be looking at like 60 or 65. I mean, that's true for control decks against any deck for any combo. You want to deploy a threat while disrupting them. So I think I want to just lean on Night's Whispers here to try and collect some more cards. Get a little bit more information before I cast this Faithless Looting. I'm going to go ahead and fetch a basic mountain here and cast Looting. The fact that I found a green card here means that if I find a shoal, that can act as a ritual for my Through the Breach. I definitely don't want another Night's Whisper. I probably don't need a backup worm at this point either. So I'm going to go ahead and discard those. We're hoping to draw a shoal or a piece of fast mana next turn, so that way I can put Griselbrand into play. Details and how my donation decks work can be found here. If you have any questions about specifics, feel free to message me in private. Mage is naming Goryo's Vengeance. Probably going to get beat down here. This matchup's very hard for us. This is honestly one of the reasons why Humans is such a great deck to have in Modern. Like, Humans is very good against these decks that... Oh, you're right. I have the Desperate Ritual, so we could breach regardless. But now there's a Thalia, so we're dead. You are correct, chat, that if this hadn't happened, we would have been able to do it regardless. And I can't cast this spell because this is naming it. Let's just move along. Abrades, Angers, Bontus, Push. I think I want Brutality in this matchup. Desperate Ritual is pretty bad. Manamorphose is clunky. I definitely haven't played this matchup enough. I think we trim some or all of these. I think the Breach Worm plan is generally okay here, which probably means I want to trim Borborygmos. Like, full comboing them is pretty terrible. Maybe I just cut both the rituals, actually. Like, the full combo here is pretty rare, I think. People that donate 50 or more with the deck, usually I give them some extra on top, because that's a large amount of money. I should really write that down in the rules. It's the only thing noted in there. Usually if people send in 50 or more, I give them an extra 10 on top. I mean, like, we don't... So, like, Darth, this matchup's bad. I think our best way to steal it is Breach Worm, because, like, our regular combo plan is bad in this matchup, too. So, like, you can't cut all of your plans. At that point, you should just concede the match. I think I'm going to lead on Temple here, because I don't really know what I want to discard yet. Okie-doke. Getting set up to turn 3 here, potentially. Good chance they'll have a disruptive element of some sort on 2, though. Yep. Even if they put Thalia into play here, I'll probably still Goryo's Vengeance back to Griselbrand just to, like, draw 7. Freebooter's also pretty annoying. Although if we rip a Fatal Push or a Lightning Axe, we can still go off through that. Nah, that both sounds like a lot of work and, like, not very good content, Justin. It's a lot of work to get, like, 2 decks together. Bye-bye, Goryos. Anger and Bontu's both great draws here as well, obviously. They clicked through their combat step. God bless. Hey, look, Christmas come early, chat. Bye, friends. Come on, Mantis Rider me. Do it. Play a Militia Bugler. Rude. Rude. Oh, I can do the splice trick. Yay. This deck is so dumb. I promise not to cast Goryo's Vengeance. Yeehaw! I don't actually know that they're dead. So I've cut Borborygmos and I've cut a lot of our things. So our actual full combo plan is actually a little bit loose here. So I'm not actually sure how deep I want to go. I guess I have like 2 shoals in my hand. I could also just like land Fatal Push this like past the turn and like discard this to hand size. I think that's what I want to do. I think the conservative play here is just like land Fatal Push, discard to hand size. I think the playing correctly to win line is doing this. I'm gonna try and combo. Do I want a ritual in my deck still? I'm gonna cut this last Night's Whisper on the draw. Well, I mean, yep. I feel like you need to like, there needs to just like start being carnival music in the background when we do this. Oh. There's my Stoneforge Mystic is too good for modern screenshot for the week. Alrighty. That was like, we had 2 turn 1 kills that league too. This main deck is great. We've been playing this same main deck forever. This is the main deck card for card that top 8 at a Grand Prix, I believe in Toronto or somewhere in Canada. Like it a lot, really trim. Even the 1-ofs are good. The Abrades, this card is just really good. The Abrades in the sideboard were great. It's just so good because, like, even when your opponent doesn't have an artifact take card, you get to, like, kill a random creature. The Fatal Push is, like, whatever. I think playing to Anger of Gods is, like, the proper way to, like, hedge Bridgebind a small bit. The rest of these details, like, you can get, so, like, the slots in this deck you could, like, kind of tune or flex or change depending on what decks you expect to play against are Collective Brutality, Lightning Axe, and these Cathartic Reunions. These are, like, your play slots in the main. And then, as far as the sideboard goes, I'm pretty confident you want 4 Leylines and 3 Pact of Negations. But the rest of these slots can be a mix of kind of whatever interaction or anti-interaction you want them to be based on what decks you expect to play against. So These cover your discard decks, these cover your counterspell decks, and then these kind of flex out to do other things depending on what you want to be. But again, if you haven't seen us play this deck a ton, this is our 15th league with it this year, basically. jeffhoagland.com/decklist. You can find my current list for this, which is actually card for card what we played here, as long as a playlist, along with a playlist of a bunch of other times we played those. If you ever thought about streaming some tournaments that run online like the mocks, I lose money playing in tournaments like that. The amount of money I make, for starters, those tournaments aren't good EV in terms of money, right? And I make more money streaming than I would from playing in those tournaments, basically. Like, I'd have to, like, win the tournament and then, like, I don't know, not scrub out of the main mocks event for it to be worthwhile, basically. And there's enough variance in Magic that, like, the expected value of just streaming is much higher. Just streaming, like, normal donation decks. All right.